Welcome once again to Conservation Conversations with Adrian. And today we're with Renelle. Renelle is the owner of Coconuts and Crayons, and we just want to get some more information from her on her organization and why she was started. So, hello, Renelle, how are you doing?
Hi, Adrian. Nice to meet you. I am good.
All right. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. So, I came across your page and I saw a lot of the work that you've been doing. So, could you just give me, like, in summary, what exactly or who is Coconuts and Crayons?
Cool. The way I like to see coconuts and cream that it's really a solution to the problem that so much of the content and the toys and the videos and the games and the things that Caribbean children with was really made for us or made for them. And it didn't really have them in mind. So you find that children are growing up not understanding the world and the specific world in which they live. And really, I am trying to just create activity boxes that help introduce children to different aspects of the Caribbean. Whether that's Caribbean nature, Caribbean culture, what challenge in the Caribbean needs to look like or should continue to look like. Those are what I try to put into the activity boxes.
Okay. I don't know because I would say we've lost a sense of childhood over the years, or what most persons might consider as childhood over the years. I mean, from simple games like Scotch I have. Anyway. So how did you come up with the idea? Like, what was the driving force to be like, okay, this is an area that I need to interject?
Really, it was a moment of, I would say, inspiration, but maybe also madness at the same
Okay.
time. I saw my niece. Her mom bought her a toy, a little birdhouse, and I was like, oh, this is cute. But this could be for anywhere. It could be something American. It could be something European. And I had the thought, we don't really have many things here that a parent can easily pick up and
Yeah.
access that looks like us and things like us and teaches children something about us. So I had the idea. So if there isn't something there, why don't I create it? And that's actually how the social media started by
Okay.
kind of documenting that journey of me figuring out how do I create this
Yeah.
thing, trying to understand what is the gap or what is the market out
Yeah.
there. I know there are lots of materials for toddlers, and there are so many people, I think, creating new children's books that
Yeah.
are based in the Caribbean, but we don't really have many toys or activities that are Caribbean
Agreed.
based. I said, I want to place the focus there and not really try to create stories and
Yeah.
books.
Yeah.
But I also saw that there are a lot of things for toddlers, for babies, but not really things for children as in the more formative ages when they go
Right.
from 5 and up. When they're starting to get exposed to more media and watching more things on TV, watching more
Yeah.
videos on YouTube, they have less and less content locally
Yeah.
available to them. So I had the idea, let me create something within this specific
Yeah.
niche. I just started and I did it.
I know. Funny enough that through that process you mentioned where the social media began and was you kind of documenting that process because I remember looking at many videos and like seeing you going through the process of trying to come up with like logos and branding and how you've been putting all these things together across that entire stage or all the stages from beginning to where you are now. What would you say has been the most difficult or challenging moment that you would have encountered?
Lots of things were difficult or challenging. I would say, coconuts and crayons is not some. We have social media, but it's not something digital.
Right.
It's something physical and something tangible. It's not just something that I sit on a computer and I write and then print. There are
Yeah.
lots of moving parts and lots of different materials within the boxes now. What I try to do in each activity box is have maybe about five to eight activities. So of course that's different materials. And I want each box to also be self-contained. So
Okay.
a parent doesn't have to go out and, buy additional things to finish the box. So everything comes in the box. So that is a lot of resources and materials and suppliers and logistics just to try to figure things out and put things together, manage photographers, manage designers. Some things I have to import. Some things I go out and try to
Yeah.
find myself. I went to some fishermen and I got fish scales. I went to the wild bell trust and I got feathers.
Right.
So that in itself, having a physical, tangible product,
Yeah.
is a lot of work. I would also say for me, I'm not necessarily a teacher, and I don't
Okay.
see coconuts and parents necessarily as educational, but more as learning through play.
Right.
But trying to find that balance between children learning, but also having fun experiences. That's something that's a bit difficult. I try to see how children interact with some of the materials that we produce. Things that they gravitate towards, things that they don't necessarily like. I look at the media and see what are the things that children are consuming and try to also
Okay.
create things in that way. So it's sometimes a balancing act to
Yeah.
give them a little bit of learning, but also make sure that they're
having
having fun.
Yeah.
And I think maybe one more thing, I think it's a huge challenge for not just for me, but anybody who is like within this space and trying to create Caribbean or local content. It's that we are fighting against a big giant digital industry, $1 trillion
Yeah,
industry,
you're correct.
hip-hop industry, anime industry. And it's really like a cultural challenge of teaching people that our representation also matters. We also matter. Our environment matters. And that is something that you really have to get parents to buy into that. So
Exactly.
once you purchase each day, the product,
Exactly. So, I mean, I think you're steering the conversation on a nice path here because, in essence, appearance sort of dictates or really drives the direction that a child will learn or grow in or develop in. But similarly, based on a child's enjoyment and what they do and things that they learn, they may also influence appearance decision. So it kind of goes both ways. But I guess in this sense, really and truly, when a parent decides to put a child to sit in front of a television to watch or take in whatever media from whichever part of the world, or to do activities from anywhere else, then that's what they learn, that's what they know. And in that sense, it's kind of hard at that point to really come out and then talk about our local stuff, our local culture, our local folklore, whatever it might be. So the question I want to ask is one, how have children or the persons that have engaged with your activities and your products, what has the response been from the children as well as from the parents who have supported us far?
I would say the response really has been overwhelming. It's a very small business. I started this. I didn't know if anybody would like the idea,
Yeah.
would want this. So even just getting the first order in was like, okay, this is something that
Yeah.
people are interested in. But I will say, I see lots of different types of people interacting with the material and interacting with the products. I have, for instance, experts who are living here in Trinidad and they want to get something for their grandchildren when they
Right.
come down to visit. But I also have school teachers who are saying that, yes, we have some agriculture or science in the curriculum, but not a lot of that. So this is a way in which I can bring this to my students as well. In Tobago, I had an after school club actually who purchased some of the material to sit down with children and actually do it as activities over the course of a week,
Right.
which to me was completely overwhelming. I would say that what I try to do is have different types of materials within the box.
Right.
But I also try to get, and you'll see it on the social media, children to actually use and test the material. So everyone, the entire public can see that these are things that children are interested in now. So some children may prefer to build a puzzle. There are some children who like to sit down with the booklet and read it.
Yeah.
There are some children who find a magnifying glass so fascinating and they want to look at everything
Yeah,
and they want
yeah.
to use it to build paper. So really the response, just seeing people interacting and seeing different types of people interacting with it has been really amazing.
Tell us, I mean, we're talking about the products, but what really are the products? What are some of the products that you have?
Coconuts and Crayons, we create themed activity boxes. And each box focuses on something specific to the
Right.
Caribbean. So in the first box, I looked at Caribbean wildlife and tried to introduce children to Caribbean wildlife in various ways. Whether it's a 3D puzzle that they can build and then paint and decorate in their own way, so it gives them some
Yeah.
creativity. But it was just having stickers of different endangered animals from different parts of the Caribbean. Even animals, of course, we kind of know about the leatherback turtle,
Yeah.
and there's some education around
Yeah.
that. But there are lots of other animals like the Jamaican toddy, like the grouper fish that's not something that children necessarily
Yeah.
know about a lot. So just having different types of materials, the booklets, the stickers, in the second box that we did, which is called the Great Backyard Box,
Okay.
really focusing on kind of old time play, but it's more of a skills building box.
Okay.
So children have to use their imagination. It's not that things are being fed to them. you have a sticker chalk and you have to figure out what can I do with this sticker chalk and how many different things can I create and make with this sticker chalk. So really the product is a self-contained box with materials that is specific to the theme,
Right.
but all different ways in which children can explore that theme and create their own stories.
Okay. That's really interesting. I think I like the fact that you, while it's something done here in Trinidad, you're thinking Caribbean, because the region as one. I mean, kind of comes into discussion at this point, but the region as one, it's a really amazing region. It's a very unique region, and each island, while we tend to say a lot of times, is the same thing. Each island has their own separate and very unique background, and if being able to capture that and encapsulate that into an activity box that children can benefit from and learn and play. And I think parents might even see some of these things and it might bring back something like, you don't know what to do with that, Joe. I can hear my mother screaming it already.
I actually had somebody inbox me and said, can the adults also buy this?
Yeah.
Why not?
You see? So where do you intend? I mean, you started, you weren't sure where it was going to go, and you're in the middle of it now. Where do you see it going within the next 10 years? What is your intention?
You said that I'm in the middle of it, but I still feel like I'm at the
Yeah,
very
yeah,
very
exactly.
beginning. I can see this growing into something much bigger, much
Yeah.
larger. Of course, creating more themed activity boxes and exploring so many different things
Yeah.
about us. Yesterday I was in the carcass and learning about how the coastline change and
Right.
how they make coconut oil down there. And I had the idea, maybe we can teach children about the different products that are specific to different parts of Trinidad, like the pottery and China, the coconut oil,
I
and
might have to
the
buy an activity box now.
no, but there's,
Yeah.
there's so many
Yeah,
themes
yeah.
and things I can explore. So I really want to continue that process of creating more boxes, more
Yeah.
themes, and telling more stories about the Caribbean, about Trinidad and Tobago through the boxes.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I've kind of learned in the process is that yes, the boxes are great, but I did something where we had a photo shoot for the second box. But we got children together and we just gave them materials and we told them you all play with it and then we just took pictures. It
Okay.
wasn't staged, we didn't tell them pose and you should the thing.
Yeah.
We just left them and then took the
Natural
pictures.
environment.
And I realized that bringing the children together, having them to play with the materials with very little guidance, just a little bit of direction.
Yeah.
I think seeing the reaction to children and that something something I want to explore before. Maybe something like that, the Caribbean, they have play that we can do here or across the region and something that just happens each year.
Yeah.
So that we can all learn on that specifically. Maybe we learn about something that that happens across the different islands, and maybe something that's unique to the island. So the boxes, but also maybe some experiences tied to some of the views as well.
Okay. And there's a particular one that I want to ask about. I saw a dissection kit for the green iguana. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I had already decided that the theme of the first box would be around animals and wildlife.
Right.
Because I think that's an easy entry point
Yeah.
for children. We learn about wildlife and animals very quickly. But the green iguana is an animal that I know a lot of people will see in their backyards. But children maybe hear about it in different ways. Maybe something that you see as a nuisance,
Yeah.
something to be scared of, something to run away from. Some people may have the experience of hearing their uncles or their family members talking about eating wild meat.
Yeah.
So I thought about, what about this, humble, regular animal? Maybe teaching children more about the animal and maybe they can develop new values around what the green iguana should be and see it as part of their environment, part of their backyard, part of their community. So I thought, one, they can teach about where it lives, why it lives in this particular way, the type of animal that it is, but explore it from the outside and also explore it from the inside. And that's kind of a way to bring in the science as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a little bit more educational than some of the other activities
Yeah.
in the box as well. So I wanted to have that mix of the cultural, but also the scientific related to the wildlife.
I think I really do enjoy the concept behind what you've built, or rather, I should say what you're building, and I really would hope to see it, more of it in the future. I have a 4-year-old daughter, so I think that's something that she can more than benefit from. So we'll talk afterwards, right? But just before we wrap up, just 2 questions. Is there or are there any misconceptions you think persons have of your business in general?
Maybe one sort of misconception is that we are an educational company. Um, to me, I consider education something to be more formal
Right.
in a school setting.
Okay.
But it's to me, it's more about learning, more about adventure, more about curiosity through the avenue and the medium of play.
Right.
So yes, there are materials, but my intention is not to help prepare a child for SEA
Gotcha.
or help a child in there to end up to an exam.
Yeah.
It's really to get them outside of the house, bring them outdoors, to try to see the world and see the things around them in a different way, observe maybe a little bit more than they are accustomed doing. So it is learning, but not necessarily formal
Right.
education.
Okay. Okay. That's I guess that's good to know because it's easy to see the products or see the things that children are engaged in. Because once you think about anything that's not a physical toy, Superman or Dolly, it's then an educational tool, I guess, in our realm or perspective. So it's good to know that, while it is or children will learn inadvertently from it, it's not dedicated towards preparing them for, going to school and doing their exams and their tests and that sort of thing. And how can how if there's a message that you wanted to get out there to persons or there was some sort of support that persons can bring to coconut and crayons, what would that look like?
Um, Maybe I'll do messages and support
Okay,
because I
okay.
definitely have ideas on the support side of things. In terms of messages, I think of course there's so many things out there for children, but really this is me trying to bring my thought processes, my experiences into a box for you and for your children. As I said already, this is a way to kind of re-inspire, reinstill that sense of curiosity and wanting to interact with the world outdoors, wanting to understand our place in the globe as well. So really, coconut and crayons is just an opportunity for kids to develop that sense of curiosity and sense of wonder. Even if you don't purchase a box, I think parents should be giving children the opportunities to do more than just be attracted to the screens and the lights and the sound, but some of the slower things, some of the outdoor things, things that we are maybe losing a little bit. So maybe that's it in terms of message. In terms of support, I'm always very open to talk to people who have more
Yeah.
knowledge on different things than me. People who have me ideas on themes that they think should be explored. I'm very willing to listen. I have a long list of themes in my head. But specifically, I'm really thinking about developing that day of play.
Right.
So it'd be great to have other persons who are in the field who have developed books and stories and activities related to the Caribbean. Maybe all get together and create that day of play that is specific to Caribbean ideas and things. I'm also working on the next box.
Right.
Maybe I'll let the cat out of the bag, but the theme is kind of related to agriculture, but not necessarily just growing, but understanding agriculture from how you get from the soil to something that's on the plate to something that's
Okay.
in the market, so in the grocery. So anybody who's working on agriculture, food related and food processing fields, we can chat, we can think about things to put inside of the box. I'm very open to that as well.
Okay. All right. So coconuts and crayons, I again personally I love the concept, I love the idea and I love where it's heading. Um and I certainly look forward to seeing a whole lot more agriculture in the next box. No pressure, no pressure.
I said it here, so I have to do it.
No pressure, right? But I really love what you started here, and I do hope that more parents can see the importance or the value and kind of just engaging or encouraging their children to get a little more on the outside. We get stuck on the screen so often. I myself might be a villain in this case, right? But it's so easy to get your child's attention and keep them occupied by just handing them a screen. But maybe this might be a better alternative, a more suitable alternative, right? So again, anything else that you want to add?
Maybe I'll just pick up on your last point of this screen because I was reading some research recently and it says that on average, children spend 19 hours a week in front of the screen. But if you take a coconut and parents book, we are trying to decide if we have at least 10 to 20 hours of activities with children. So maybe this can be like a friction point. So
Yeah.
in addition to the 19 hours of screen, we have
Yeah.
another set of hours where they have something.
Yeah.
When they can also be learning new skills and also be learning about.
I think I could probably speak for most parents on this answer and say that if there was a really easy, suitable alternative to screen time, most parents would think upon it. I think that. So maybe coming out of this, once persons see exactly what your products have and they're able to access it, it wouldn't put you through too much work of collecting feathers and fish scales as it might be, right?
That actually
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Okay, good. Right. So, Ronald, thank you so much for having this conversation here with me. I really did enjoy it. And this is Conservation Conversation once again, signing out. Thank you.
Thank you.